Welcome back to Kitchen Cures. As many of you who have been watching know, we spend a lot of time creating great recipes in the kitchen, but oftentimes we end up with a ton of scraps that we don't know what to do with. In honor of Earth Day, I've brought my good friend Lisa here, a part of Green Gurlz, to show us what to do with those scraps. She's going to show us and teach us about composting. And I'm excited to learn about this. I have to be completely honest. This is not something I do on a regular basis. So I'm excited for you to be here and teach us a little bit about it. So when we're thinking about Earth Day coming up pretty soon, why do you think composting is an important part of protecting the planet?
I think it's just a simple way to add an element where you can take your food scraps, like you say, rather than throwing them away, you can actually create something valuable from them. A lot of people don't realize, but organic materials, if they end up in landfills, they tend to create a gas that can be released into the ozone. So just having that be removed from there, you're also saving space in the landfills, which is great as well. So it's a simple way to make a difference.
And one of the things Lisa was explaining to me is that even here in Georgia, many of our landfills are full. So anything we can do to maybe preserve space, compress space, to protect our planet and our environment is really important.
Yes.
So I'm ready to learn.
Yay.
I've never done this before.
Okay.
So tell me how this works. What's our first step? What do we do? And we'll go from there.
So the main thing is it's very simple. There's different ways that you can compost. There is a way that you can just literally throw your stuff out in the garden, and Mother Nature over time is going to biodegrade the products and you'll result in compost. But they can take a while.
Throw them out the window?
Just throw them out the window.
Okay.
So if you live in a setting like this, that's probably not going to be ideal. If you live out in the country, that would be easier. You could have a tumbler where you can have them all in a barrel, and you actually tumble it around.
So what does that mean?
You would turn it,
okay,
and that creates air and water to get into the tumbler. So then that
so
will help.
Options are throwing it out the window, having a place to throw it out the window, or getting a tumbler so far.
Now, the method that I chose is vermicomposting, which is worms. And the reason,
worms.
Yes, we love our worms. The reason I did that is because, for example, if you live in a setting where you don't have a lot of space, this is actually an example of a worm bin. So you see it's very space efficient. On the other side...
With holes, by the way, for your worms to breathe.
Yes,
so.
They do need air and water to survive. But the other reason that I really like them is because as far as time frame, they break down the materials in a very quick manner. So it will be about 60 to 90 days that you can actually get some compost.
Okay.
And I just am fascinated by the worms. Some people don't like them, but I think they're great. So vermicomposting is the way that I do my composting. And like you asked, how do you get started? So all of the organic materials that you have in your kitchen.
So here, for example, we've got some scraps. We have eggshells, we have avocado shells, banana peels, napkins, things that, you know, we find every day in our kitchen.
Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind is that, for example, like as far as recycling goes, these items could not be recycled. So a lot of people are trying to help in terms of removing stuff from the landfill. These items couldn't go to a recycling facility. So this would be an alternative way to deal with that portion of your trash.
Okay.
So like you said, napkins, these definitely cannot be recycled. Nobody wants to touch your dirty napkins. The eggshells, any food items can be put in there. In terms of what not to put in, you wouldn't want to put things like meat products.
Okay, no meat.
Fatty things, overly fatty, like oily,
no
overly
fat
salty.
or oil. Okay.
So basically all the good things that we should be eating, they want to eat as well.
So worms need a healthy diet,
They need a healthy
anti-inflammatory, healthy diet as well. Fantastic.
So yeah, so you would then put the items in the worm bin.
Okay.
And I divide mine into sections. So one section will be where the food is placed.
Okay.
The other section is just left open. And I do that on purpose in terms of harvesting, which I'll explain.
Okay.
But once you put it in there, these are our little worms.
Okay.
So,
I don't know how I feel about this.
So we start off with newspaper.
Right.
That's their bedding. And it has to be moist.
Okay.
And then they are photosensitive, so they don't enjoy the light. So that's why they are trying to.
So we have a ton of worms right under here.
And there they are.
I will try to pick them up. I'm not a worm girl at all. But I'm doing this for Earth Day.
Yes, do it for Earth Day. And you can see this material right here.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh, look at all these worms.
They've already started to eat the newspaper.
Okay.
So that's now, it started out like this, and now it's this little, like, scraps.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but when I bought my worms, I bought about £1. It's about 1,000.
Okay.
And they will eat half of their body weight in a day.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why over about 60 to 90 days, they'll sit in there, they'll eat, they're very low maintenance, and then ultimately this is what you'll end up with.
Which is some compost. And you can use this in gardening or
They
on your
actually
plants.
call this black gold because
Okay.
the problem in Georgia is that the soil is very degraded.
Okay.
So in order to successfully plant things, you have to add vitamins and nutrients and minerals. So the compost it's basically worm poo, by the way. It doesn't smell though.
Lovely. Fantastic.
But you can add that to your soil prior to planting, and it will help to enrich the soil.
So we started with scraps.
Yep.
We then went on to worms, which
Yep.
I'm actually touching. And then we end up with compost
Yes.
that we can use to plant and reharvest and grow crops and also
And you
help
can-
what we have.
You can spread it on your garden, prior to actually planting your seeds, or because it's so rich in the vitamins and the nutrients, you can actually start your seedlings in here, and then you would transplant them to the garden.
Okay.
Yeah.
My goodness. Well, this has been a learning experience for me, definitely. If you'd like to learn more about composting and other ways to help the environment, please go to Lisa's Facebook page. It's Facebook.com/Green Gurlz, Gurlz.
Yes.
And lots of tips and great information there as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking the time
Thank you
to
so
join
much for
us.
having
And thank you
me.
guys for watching this edition of Kitchen Cures. If you enjoyed watching Kitchen Cures today and learned something new, hit the subscribe button and don't miss another healthy recipe. And check out my blog on drtaz.com to learn more about lasting weight loss, beauty, and fitness tips, and how to be your healthiest self. Thanks for watching.